The lights of the arena glowed like 1,000 small suns, burning down on the square ring in the center. The air inside was heavy, filled with the murmurs and restless voices of the crowd. Some cheered, some whispered, some simply waited. To them, it was another night of sport. To Ali, it was something far greater. He stood in the corner of the ring, his gloves tight, his chest rising and falling in steady rhythm. His dark eyes followed the crowd for only a moment before he turned them back to the man across from him. Jackson. Jackson was taller, broader, a mountain of muscle with a face hardened by years of battles. He had been champion 6 times. His reputation traveled far ahead of him. People said he did not just defeat opponents, he broke them. He stole the fight from their bodies and the fire from their eyes. Ali knew this. He had studied Jackson, watched his fights late at night, memorized the rhythm of his strikes. But now, standing here, so close that he could see the calm on Jackson's face, Ali felt the weight of reality. This was no recording. This was flesh, and bone, and power. The bell had not yet rung. There was still a moment of calm. In that pause, Ali closed his eyes. He thought of his master, the man who had trained him since he was a boy. He remembered the smell of the old gym, the sound of the mat under his feet, the long hours when his legs trembled with exhaustion. And he remembered the words spoken to him again and again. Ali, strength will take you part of the way. But heart will carry you to the end. Remember, the last round belongs not to the body, but to the soul. The bell rang. The sound cut through the air like lightning. Jackson moved first. His steps were heavy, powerful, filled with certainty. His fist shot forward with the speed of a hammer. Ali raised his guard, felt the shock of impact travel down his arm. Another punch, another strike, each one pushing him back a step. The first round became a storm. Jackson attacked with precision, as if this fight was only another page in his long story of victories. Ali defended, blocked, ducked, but the force still found him. His ribs ached, his arms shook, his head rang with the echo of a jab. The crowd shouted. Some called his name, others called for Jackson, but all Ali could hear was his breath, sharp and short, and the steady pounding of his heart. The bell ended the first round. Ali returned to his corner. His chest heaved, his body burned, yet when his trainer placed a hand on his shoulder, Ali did not let his head fall. He lifted it, eyes fixed ahead. The second round began. Jackson wasted no time. He came forward again, faster, more aggressive. A kick struck Ali's side, sending pain rushing through him. A punch found his chin, snapping his head back. He stumbled, nearly falling. For a moment the world tilted, and the bright lights above him blurred. The crowd gasped. Many thought it was over. Jackson raised his guard higher, ready to finish. But then, Ali stood. He shook his head, cleared the fog, and planted his feet once more. His chest rose and fell, but his eyes still burned. The second round continued, but the rhythm shifted. Ali still absorbed punishment, still felt the weight of every blow, but he began to move differently. His steps were lighter, his defense sharper. He was not breaking, not yet. The bell rang again. The second round was over. Jackson walked back to his corner calm, almost amused. Ali sat, breath ragged, sweat running down his face. His trainer leaned close, whispering words only he could hear. "You are still here, Ali. That is enough. Now fight not with your body, but with your heart. This is your round." The final round began. The bell's echo had hardly faded when Ali stepped forward. He no longer waited, no longer circled in defense. His first strike came sharp and fast, a jab that met Jackson's face. Then another. Then a kick that struck clean. Jackson blinked, surprised. His opponent was not retreating. He was attacking. Ali pressed on. His fists moved like the rhythm of a drum, steady, strong, unbroken. Each strike carried not just muscle, but memory, every long night, every drop of sweat, every fall and rise from the mat. The crowd rose to their feet. The roar was deafening, but Ali heard none of it. In his mind there was only silence, and the memory of his master's voice. "Heart will carry you to the end." Jackson fought back, throwing punches heavy enough to shake the ring. But Ali no longer felt fear. Pain was there, yes, but pain no longer ruled him. He slipped past a strike, answered with a hook. He blocked a kick, countered with his own. The rhythm built. Then the moment came. Ali saw the opening. Jackson raised his guard high, leaving his side bare. Ali moved in, quick as lightning, and delivered a final punch with all the strength of his body and soul combined. The sound was sharp, echoing through the arena. Jackson staggered. His legs shook. And then, slowly, heavily, he fell. The referee began the count. 1, 2, 3. The crowd leaned forward, every voice hushed. 7, 8, 9. Jackson did not rise. 10. The bell rang. The arena erupted. Thousands of voices became one single thunder. Ali had done it. Against the champion, against the odds, against his own pain, he had won. He stood in the center of the ring, his chest still heaving, his arms heavy, his body bruised. But he raised his fists, not with arrogance, not with pride, but with gratitude. When the announcer declared his name, Ali, the new world kickboxing champion, the sound was almost lost in the wave of applause. Yet for Ali, the true victory was not the title. It was the journey. Later, when a microphone was placed before him, he spoke only a few words. His voice was calm, quiet, yet strong enough to reach every heart. I did not win with strength alone. I won with my master's lessons, and with the heart that refused to give up. Dreams are not only for the strong, or the great. Dreams belong to anyone who will stand again after falling. The crowd answered with silence at first, then with thunderous applause that shook the arena. And that night, the world learned a new name. Ali, the champion who rose in the final round.